My favorite hole on Greywalls is number 6, par 3, and because I got a hole in one from 172 yards, that is my favorite hole.
My favorite hole on Greywalls is number 3, because once you get over the first obstacle of getting over the cattails, then your chances of getting closest to the pin are pretty good.
My favorite hole is number 6, because I'm not a very long hitter, and I like to be able to dial in one of my irons all over the pin.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Welcome to Golf Greywalls. I'm Doug Garrison, and for the next half hour, we're going to be talking about one of the Midwest premier golf destinations. That's Greywalls Golf Course at Marquette Golf Club, and with me is Mark Gilmore, head PGA Pro at Marquette Golf Club. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Thank you very much, Doug.
I know it looks like we're sitting on the tee here at number 6, a challenging par 3, and we'd much rather be out there, but Mother Nature hasn't cooperated, so I say the next best thing to playing golf is talking about golf, so why don't we do that?
Absolutely, I'm all with you.
Yeah, now you've been at Marquette Golf Club for how many years now?
30 years.
30 years, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Must be doing something right. Yeah.
Doesn't seem that long.
Well, it goes fast, doesn't it? We're talking about Greywalls tonight, though, and what a course that has become, and such an iconic destination in the Midwest now.
It really has, and it's getting some incredible rankings throughout the golf world, and drawing people from all over the country really to come up here to play Marquette, play in Marquette at Greywalls. So
yes. We talk about some of the accolades. The last thing I remember seeing was number 2 playable course in Michigan, right behind Arcadia Bluffs. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
No, it isn't. So, and you know, even then, I think our rankings would be higher if we had a few more Raiders up here. So it could possibly even be number 1, I think, in the near future.
We can keep working on that.
Yep.
You know, rankings are one thing, but I like to hear what people say about people who, like me, who play golf. What do they say about it? You know, we have people coming from Lower Michigan, Wisconsin, all over the Midwest. What do people say about Greywalls when they come off the course?
I think they're stunned by the beauty of the golf course, number 1. So it's in immaculate shape. We have a great superintendent, Craig Moore. He does a magnificent job out there. And the vistas of Lake Superior, the rock formations out there, hence Greywalls. It's really something you don't experience anywhere else in the Midwest. So it's pretty an eye-opening experience for a lot of people coming to Marquette.
Yeah, I think the wow moment is when you drive up to that first tee and you turn around, you look out and you see Lake Superior, and that's a pretty astounding vista there.
It is.
And then you get to play that first hole, which is incredible as well.
Yeah, you know, and again, maybe the hardest hole golf hole out there is the first hole.
You might want to spend some time on the driving range first, because that first hole is a test.
A little bit on the chipping green as well.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Marquette Golf Club is not just Greywalls. We have an outstanding 18-hole course called the Heritage as well.
Yeah, it is, and it is our heritage. I mean, we've been a club since 1926, and a gentleman, actually 2 gentlemen, William Langford and Henry Moreau, designed a 9-hole course for us in the 1920s, and actually a lot of the Raiders coming to see Greywalls, they want to see that 9 holes as well. It's a composition on 9 that they added on 9 holes in the 1960s by a gentleman named David Gill, but the original Langford holes are really quite stunning too. So we have 2 really, really quality golf courses. So. And
not too many people can boast that. And Heritage is very playable.
It is.
Let's talk for a minute about membership and people who might think about joining the club. What is the kind of a cost implications there, and how do you become a member?
With the 2 courses, we have kind of a bifurcated system where you can join just the Heritage course, kind of an economic lead into the golf course, or you can join both courses. We call it a combined membership, which includes Heritage and Greywalls. So, and we've even broken that down into weekday packages and 7-day packages. So there's something for everybody.
A lot of different cost options and playing options depending upon your availability in weekdays or weekends. And I think there's individual memberships, families, things for young people, all kinds of things.
College memberships. Another nice thing I think we have, Doug, too, that maybe is an advantage over some other clubs, is we have payment plans. And the only thing we ask of you is that your membership's paid in full by October 15th. So I would say about 30 to 40% of our members actually take advantage of that.
And specific information about this is available at the website, marquettegolfclub.com, and that's always a good source for all information.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What about daily play? And some people think the course maybe is a private course, but that's not true.
It is not true. We need the revenue too. I mean, we have a pretty big loan on the Greywalls course, and so to help pay for that, we do take green fees. So we are a public facility. Our clubhouse is a public facility as well. It has excellent food, great fish fries on weekends, and do a lot of banquets, things like that, weddings. You know, again, it's totally open to the public, so we welcome everybody with open arms.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the clubhouse. There are some changes going on on there for this year.
Yeah, there is. We're doing some remodeling, and there's some new things, new tables and chairs. We're painting it as we speak, so it's going to have a new look, and I think a fresh look. We're adding some TVs, kind of some new seating arrangements around the fireplace. I think the members are going to like it, and I think the public will as well.
I think I heard there's going to be a new deck constructed there as well.
Yes, there is, and that gets a lot of use. Whenever the weather gets here, that will get a lot of use. So.
That's awesome. And I think it's important to note that it is a public facility. People tend to drive by on Grove Street and they see this golf club there and they think, I'm not sure if I'm welcome there. Nothing could be further from the truth.
You're exactly correct. I mean, we welcome everybody with open arms. So we're glad to have them come out and play the golf courses or use our facilities in the clubhouse.
Sure. And I want to mention you have a fully stocked pro shop as well. Yeah. Everything from shoes to balls to gloves to clubs, everything they need.
Yep. It's a small shop, but we do as much as we can, and actually it's pretty active in there because we do have everything, and I think we're one of the more fully stocked courses, certainly in the UP, if not in most of the upper Midwest. So we have everything. We have fittings. We can fit you for clubs as well. We can get beginners started. So we try to provide something for a little bit of everybody. So.
Yeah. And speaking of, I want to talk about getting started for a minute. A lot of people are a little bit intimidated by the time commitment, maybe the cost commitment, and the challenge of a difficult game. What do you say to someone who's thinking, gee, I might like to get into that, but I'm a little intimidated about that?
Absolutely, the best thing is just take a half hour and come out and take a lesson. So either myself, I have another assistant who's an excellent teacher, Mike Fellini. We're there 7 days a week, and give yourself a chance in the game because it is difficult to get started, and there's some idiosyncrasies that don't relate to other sports, and a lot of people think they can do it because they have played other sports. But take time, take a lesson, and I think you'll enjoy the game immensely from that point on. So
yeah, I consider it to be a very addictive endeavor, and I think if you get somebody out there 1, 2, 3 times, and all of a sudden they start hitting a couple good shots, get a feel for it, it's a hard game to avoid, because just the idea of being outside and enjoying the competition and finding yourself improving every time you get out there, it's very rewarding.
It is. It gets you hooked because, you know, if you can do it once, why can't you do it again? You know, you hit that perfect shot and
there you go.
I can do that again, but you can't, and that's the thing. It kind of hooks you that way, and pretty soon you're playing golf every day. So.
We've kind of covered the nuts and bolts and the bricks and mortar of the golf club and the course and the clubhouse. I want you to stick around and come back after we talk to a couple other people, because I want to talk a little bit about golf and how it kind of plays into lifestyles that we experience these days. So don't go away, and you don't go away either. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Craig Moore, and we're going to ask him when he thinks we might be getting out on these golf courses.
Yeah, my favorite hole on Greywalls is hole number 5. Why I like it so much, it's a challenging hole. It's short, but you can go with the driver and go for it and hit the green, or take a 3-wood, hit about 240, chip on, and 2-putt for a par. That's my favorite hole.
My favorite hole on Greywalls is number 6 because lots of laughter can be found there. And if you ever get to experience the view from the ladies' tee box, you'll know why that is. It's a very short par 3, but it does present some serious challenges.
My favorite hole on Greywalls has to be number 9. It's a finishing hole on the front 9. It's got a beautiful view of the lake, and every once in a while I'm able to score pretty well on it.
A typical week of training for me is about 120 miles a week. In 2010, I had a meniscus tear after the Twin Cities Marathon. And so when I had my injury, I didn't have a second thought of where to go. I knew Advanced Center for Orthopedics. The doctors there, a lot of them are affiliated with sports. I knew that I was in the right hands. Advanced Center for Orthopedics got me back to my passion, and I recommend them highly.
If you're throwing a party, hosting a meeting, or planning a reunion, you'll have hungry mouths to feed. You can do it yourself or call Casa Calabria. The Casa caters to any size group or team. We'll provide fully prepared, large family-style orders of our most popular menu items. Pick it up, or better yet, we'll deliver. The best way to enjoy your next gathering is not in the kitchen. For a great event and even better food, call Casa Calabria.
It's just your style, Casa Calabria.
Golf Greywalls is presented in part by John's Auto, voted the Reader's Choice #1 source for a used vehicle in Marquette County 7 times. No fancy slogans, just a lot of satisfied customers at John's Auto, 1004 West Washington, Marquette. and by Iron Bay Computer and Design. Iron Bay gives you the quality and service you demand. All right, we're back on Golf Greywalls. I'm with Craig Moore, the golf course ground superintendent. Craig, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're on the tee here allegedly on number 8, another challenging a par 4. We're not a long hole, but you got to get it off the tee in the right spot, and it's a fun hole as well. Tell me, as a ground superintendent, what kind of education and training do you have for that?
Well, I went to school at Michigan State. I got a bachelor's in crop and soil science, and then internships.
Yeah,
just
a lot of experience.
Deal. Yeah, a lot of experience in the field experience. Yeah.
Hands in the dirt.
Hands in the dirt, learning it. Yeah.
What did you think of Greywalls when you first saw it?
Well, when I first saw it, it was all trees. I used to do site visits with Mike, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but pulled it off. Superintendent at the time, Pete Chevrolet, and working with Mike, and of course the board and the club, and they did a wonderful job putting it together. So.
It seems to be a challenge for a superintendent, because it's not just this flat course. I mean, there's undulations out there, a lot of rock cuts and all sorts of things. Environmentally sensitive areas too.
Yes, it's an extreme challenge to maintain with all the hills, the slopes. A lot of the stuff I have to do myself, just because you need somebody highly trained to do it, because it's very dangerous. Pulling a fertilizer spreader with 1,000 pounds behind you
on a 45-degree angle.
Yes, it's not easy.
Yeah. Well, you guys do a great job. The course is in phenomenal shape. The fairways and greens are beautiful.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about, a lot of people I think if they're not familiar with the game of golf, that these golf courses are cut out and that they do damage to the environment. It's just they're out there for our recreation. I don't think that's true. Is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not true. We enhance the environment. The turf varieties we have out there, the low-mow bluegrasses and the fine fescues in the fairways, very low input turf grasses. All our natural areas, the taller grass, the fescue areas, provide a wonderful habitat for birds and other little critters.
Yeah. I think that's a good sign. What kind of animals you have? I've seen coyotes out there, fox, deer, birds, of course. So if they're surviving and thriving out there, that says something about it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We've got a bluebird program going on, with the bluebirds, putting boxes out, and they came in within a year, and they were just everywhere now.
Great, good. Makes me feel better.
Yeah.
You brought a couple tools of the trade. Let's look at these quickly. What do we have here?
That's a ball mark repair tool that my guys use on a daily basis. We go out there, and obviously golfers are, part of their responsibility is repairing their own ball marks, but they don't get all repaired. So we go through when we do course setup in the mornings. We go through and fix the ones that are not repaired.
This one looks kind of scientific.
Yeah, that one is pretty scientific. That gives me a look at the turf surface close up. It's a macroscope. I get down there, I can see fungal spores growing, and I can predict the disease outbreaks before they actually even happen. So.
Okay. And this looks like it's something to do with core samples, is my guess.
Yeah, that's my most used tool. That's my soil probe. I go down there and I check for soil moisture and rooting. And so when I'm going through on a daily basis and going to set up the irrigation cycles, I'm constantly pulling cords and checking moisture. So.
And this one, I can tell. I know what this thing is. This is where you cut the holes.
Yeah, everybody knows that one. Cup cutter, 4 1/4 inches in diameter, 7 inches deep. And that's our hole. So we need a real sharp edge to keep the edge crisp for golfers.
So there's more to it than just cranking up the lawnmower and cutting the grass.
There is more to it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like I said, you guys do a great job. Not just Greywalls, you have 2 courses out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a challenge in and of itself, and probably both have their own specific needs.
They do. A little bit different, soil types, even from the front 9 and the back 9 in Greywalls, and then you throw in heritage is a little bit different yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, here it is, Craig. Here's the question. There's still snow on the ground, and we have snow in the forecast. What's your best guess? When do you think we're going to get out there?
Yeah, there's still a lot of snow. I went out Saturday, went snowshoeing. I mean, we still have 2-3 feet of snow on greens on Greywalls, foot and a half on the heritage. So, I mean, we're talking a couple weeks at best of melt off. And then, then it takes a good week and a half, 2 weeks at best to prepare and get ready.
Okay, so once the snow's gone in my yard, we still got another week or 2 before we get out there.
Yeah, we got to get the place cleaned up. And,
No problem. We didn't used to start golfing till May out there anyway, and last year we were spoiled. We'll get a good 6 months in one way or another.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Good. Craig, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you out there.
Right, thank you.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back to talk about some other things going on for youth out at Marquette Golf.
My favorite hole is number 9, not because I score well on the hole, but I think it's the most spectacular, beautiful approach shot into the green, very tough, risk-reward tee shot.
My favorite hole is probably number 7 because I got this baby hook and it just, from the women's tee, it just kind of sails down there, rolls down the hill. Every woman knows what I'm talking about. It just lands perfect setup for the green.
My favorite hole on Greywalls would have to be number 17 because I did get a hole in one there, yeah.
When the city seems too far away, discover a place that time forgot, but you never will. The Landmark Inn. We've been waiting for you.
What happened to small business in this country? Corporate America came along and brainwashed us into thinking big business was best. Their greed put a lot of small artisans out of work, and along the way, personal service was trampled on. Attention to detail, customer satisfaction, gone. It's not too late for a consumer to expect more. Small businesses that feel like you do are just around the corner. Do you want a kitchen out of a box? Or a kitchen that was designed by neighbors that craft their reputation, one kitchen, one cabinet at a time? Craftsmen who still do it the American way, who take pride in a job well done. Schwalbach Kitchens has been installing American-made cabinets into homes since 1978. Kitchens with a hard-working American personality. We have the know-how to take your vision from paper and turn it into a beautiful living space. Reinvigorate your expectations with a visit to the Schwalbach showroom on North 3rd Street, Marquette.
Let's go to Vango's, your friendly neighborhood bar and restaurant, serving up the freshest homemade food and pizza. It's the perfect casual atmosphere to meet friends and family. Enjoy Greek favorites such as gyros and Greek salads. Join us for Mexican Tuesday and Friday fish fry. Vango's is the home of the oldest pizza parlor in Marquette. Come taste the difference. We make our own dough and sauce from scratch using only the freshest ingredients. Dine in for lunch or dinner 7 days a week with delivery available. Let's go to Vango's, North 3rd Street, Marquette.
All right, we're back on Golf Greywalls with Casey Bjorn. Casey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You have a little bit of a golf history yourself, a 2-time past champion at Marquette Golf Club. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, when did you get started?
I started when I was about 10 years old. I grew up in Chassel, so playing Michigan Tech's course, Portage Lake Golf Course.
Yeah. And obviously you've become addicted to the game like many of us have and continue to play. You say you have a young son. Is he into the game as well?
I've got an 11-year-old and he is part of the Junior Golf Association and plays a lot of golf in the summer.
Yeah, good. Well, that's why you're here to talk about the Marquette County Junior Golf Association. And I think this is important to talk about this because golf is a game that you can get started at a very young age. And I was talking with Mark Gilmore earlier about how you not only can you start young, but you can play until your later years as well. But it's important to get these kids out there early, and the Marquette County Junior Golf League is a vehicle for doing that. Tell us about the league and what are you trying to accomplish there, and how do people get started?
Well, it's a 7 to 8 week league that we set up to try to get young kids involved in the game in somewhat of a competitive light, I guess you'd say, and for a minimal fee of $45, if a parent can volunteer, they get 7 weeks of golf, which is fairly cheap for
awesome.
that experience.
Yeah.
And the age groups are 8 to 18, and we split all the kids up based on their ability to play, so you're playing with kids of similar talent.
Yeah. Now, this doesn't just take place at Marquette Golf Club.
All the courses in the county participate.
Yeah. Very good. How do people, if someone's interested in participating in this, how do they get signed up?
We actually visit all the local schools and hand out brochures and registration forms, so those go home with the kids. And then also our website, you can print the form and mail that in right from the website.
Okay, we've got the web address we're putting on the screen for people to check that out. As I mentioned, it's important for these kids to get started early, and I've always felt that golf was a unique sport in that it teaches different values than some of the other sports. For example, calling your own fouls and being a lady or a gentleman on the course. And is that something that's important to the training these kids receive?
I think the biggest thing that they're going to receive is a little bit of independence on the golf course. Your mom and dad aren't right there with you. You need to learn to behave within the rules and call penalties on yourself, like you mentioned, and the respect for each other. I think that's one of the biggest lessons, is respecting your fellow competitors.
Yeah, and those are lessons that you take throughout your life. You mentioned you used the word competition. I think that's important too, because you learn how to compete not just against the people you're playing against, but also against yourself and your own demons on the golf course. Most of the games played up here, they say.
Right.
But you play the course as well, but you learn that spirit of competition.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the competitiveness, as you mentioned, comes from within. It's trying to beat your best score, not necessarily always the people in your group, but your best score every day is a little bit different on the golf course.
Now, what kind of training do these kids get out there? Do we have some experienced adults and golf people that are working with them to kind of teach them the game?
We do offer a Monday night clinic. One of our board members, actually a few of our board members, and a couple of the NMU golfers have been out there on Monday nights at 7 o'clock at Marquette, offering an hour to 2 hours of instruction. So the turnout for that's been really good.
That would help me. I should probably go stand on the side and kind of watch some of those lessons.
And that's totally free, whereas a lesson with a golf professional, you're looking at upwards of $50 to $60 for an hour.
Now, I want to make it clear too that parents don't necessarily have to be golfers or members of any of the participating clubs.
Right. One of the biggest things that we want kids to feel comfortable, and parents feel comfortable bringing their kids to the course, even if they're not members or golfers themselves. The best time to get them involved is when they're young, because the kids are sponges and they'll pick it up really quick. So if it's a situation where the family doesn't golf, don't be afraid to sign the kid up.
Yeah, and I was talking to you earlier, it's a little bit of, golf can be intimidating because it's not just going down to a tennis court with a couple rackets and a ball and banging it around. You've got to put some time into it. You have to kind of work hard to learn the game, because it is a difficult game to learn.
Right.
And there's some expense involved with some equipment that you might want to purchase, but I think your Marquette County Youth Golf League kind of tries to ease people into that with low fees and getting parents involved.
Right, and we do actually, we've been working on this for a few years. We have some sets that we loan out to the golfers, and we're working on building that. So kids that can't afford to go out and buy equipment to play, we can provide that for them. Might not be a full, complete set of golf clubs, but you'll have enough to get around the golf course.
Super.
So we're trying to alleviate some of that.
Okay. And now, aside from the fact that we've still got some snow out there, what's the time frame for when this thing's going to get started this year?
Registration is due in the, I believe, end of April, and then the junior golf, weather permitting and school permitting, with all the snow days, we usually like to start it shortly after the kids are out of school in June.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I encourage people, if you're thinking about getting your kids involved in golf, this is a great way to get them started. You get to work with people like Casey and other adults that can kind of show them the way and get them started in a great game that can serve them well for life. Casey, thank you very much for joining us. Have a good year out there on the golf course.
Thank you.
We'll see you there. All right. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back with some final thoughts.
My favorite hole in Greywalls is the par 3 15th hole. It's a lengthy par 3. It demands a good quality golf shot, beautiful scenery, and it's my favorite hole.
My favorite hole on Greywalls is number 5. It's a left-handed dogleg left layout, and I'm left-handed, so it works well for my slight fade. And it's a real pretty course. The green sets right next to that big rock gray wall.
My favorite hole is number 18 because that means I'm done, and then I go to 19, and that's what I really like.
I fix all of my accidents at Superior Collision.
For all those unexpected dents and dings, call Superior Collision.
Togo's, Marquette's original submarine sandwich.
Let me tell you about City Insurance. 20 years ago, we bought this little corner cafe. Now we're 2 restaurants, 2 liquor licenses, a brewery. We've got a lot of moving parts. We have antiques we have to insure, 100-year-old bars. Auto owners is great. We do real well with City Insurance. We're so pleased.
At City Insurance, we can tailor a program just right for you. Safe, sound, secure insurance protection from Auto Owners Insurance Company. The no problem people.
Golf Greywalls is presented in part by John's Auto, voted the Reader's Choice #1 source for a used vehicle in Marquette County 7 times. No fancy slogans, just a lot of satisfied customers at John's Auto, 1004 West Washington, Marquette. And by Iron Bay Computer and Design. Iron Bay gives you the quality and service you demand. All right, we're back with Mark Gilmore. We're on the tee here on number 15, a very challenging par 3 again. A couple tough par 3s out there on Greywalls. We heard from Craig Moore about possibly when we might be getting out there, and Casey Bjorn about Marquette Junior Golf. And I want to talk for a minute about some of the events coming up at the club this summer, some of the more highlighted events that are going to be taking place on Greywalls and Heritage.
Probably, our highlight for the year is the Beacon House outing. It's a charity outing for the Beacon House. It's on Greywalls.
Yeah. So, celebrity golf outing. I'm wearing my shirt.
There you go.
Took part
You're
in
one of the
before.
celebrities.
Yeah.
Yes, big deal. So
Yeah.
it is, and actually, it's the 3rd year in operation, and it's just getting bigger and stronger every year. We're getting, I guess, more famous, celebrities coming in every year.
And I think that says something about Greywalls when these people keep coming back and they keep telling their celebrity friends about this golf club that they've got to see. I think that says something for Greywalls.
Absolutely, and for the community itself. I mean, it really is. They enjoy every aspect of the event. So, and stay downtown and play a great course like Greywalls for a great event or a great charity like the Beacon House.
I would encourage people, if you're thinking about trying to get started in the game, sign up for some of these charity outings. It helps those nonprofits certainly, and it gets you a little taste of the game and a little bit of the competition.
Exactly. It's a really relaxed format, like you said. Right. So, and it's a great day. It's a great experience. There's usually something after socially involved. So it's a great day at the golf course, and it kind of gets you involved in it and see what it's all about.
Let's take that one step further, Mark. We talked before about the courses and the clubhouse and the pro shop, but golf as a recreation, as almost a way of life. I think it's just such a great endeavor. It's something you can do as soon as you can start to walk and swing a club, and until you can, as long as you can still get out there and play. We've got guys out there in their 90s playing golf, and it's not just a sport, but it's also a social endeavor. It teaches great things, and you've been in golf all your life. You must have reaped some of those rewards, and helps make us the gentlemen and ladies that we are. It's a game for all ages and all types.
No question. And that's probably one of the more rewarding things I get at the golf course is seeing these groups going out there, 70s and 80s years old, 3 to 5 times a week, having a blast, going up and having lunch afterwards. I mean, gets them outside, get some exercise in their 70s and 80s, and that's why they're so healthy looking, That's their secret, I think. So
absolutely, and I touched on it. It's not just a game for the guys. Ladies are so involved. We have a great group of ladies out at Marquette Golf Club that enjoy the game just as well. You can play against the people. You can have competition against your golf partners, or against yourself, or against the course. It works in so many different ways.
Absolutely. I think one of the more active groups out there is the ladies group that plays on Wednesdays and Fridays. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, they even have functions during the winters where they go out and eat at various restaurants in town or have breakfast. I mean, it's awesome. So.
And I think there's a misconception that there's big business deals going on out there in this area with a glass ceiling or something. I don't see that happening. I see relationships being developed, friendships that last a lifetime.
Exactly. And I've already told my staff, when we have meetings in the spring, when they come, we have a really nice job, because when people come out to the golf course, they're expecting to have fun. So they're coming out there getting away from the everyday stresses of work or life and coming out and really expecting to have fun on the golf course. And our job is just to make sure they go home and they had that fun. So.
Well, you're doing a great job with it. Mark, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to getting out there, and everybody else is too. We have no control of when we're going to play, but certainly it's going to happen sooner or later. Let's have a good time. We'll see you on the first tee, and we'll see you out there too. Thanks for joining us on Golf Greywalls. Have a great golf season.